students, today we will start from units of work. Last time we have discussed what is work done. So now next topic is units of work. First, when since we know work done equals to force into displacement. First, units in SI system. As we know, SI unit of force is Newton, and SI unit of displacement is meter. So we can say SI unit of work is Newton into meter, or it is equal to 1 joule. And here we can also define 1 joule as when force of 1 Newton is applied on a body and displacement in the body is 1 meter in the direction of force, then work done will be 1 joule. Now second is CGS system. As we know, CGS unit of force is dyne and CGS unit of displacement is centimeter. So here CGS unit of work is dyne into centimeter, and which can also be written as 1 erg. So here we can also define 1 erg as when force of 1 dyne is applied on a body and displacement in the body is 1 centimeter in the direction of force, then work done will be 1 erg. Now we can also find the relation between erg and joule, as we know 1 joule equals to 1 Newton into meter. Since we know 1 Newton equals to 10 raised to power 5 times and 1 meter equals to 10 raised to power 2 centimeter. So we can write here 1 Newton into 1 meter equals to 10 raised to power 5 dyne into, when we write meter into centimeter, then we can write here 1 meter equals to 10 raised to power 2 centimeter. So we get 10 raised to power 7 dyne into centimeter. And as we know, dyne into centimeter equals to 1 erg. So we can write here 10 raised to power 7 erg, which is equal to 1 Newton into meter. And as we know 1 Newton into meter equals to 1 joule. So we get the relation between SI and CGS unit of work as 1 joule equals to 10 raised to power 7 erg. Now next is gravitational units of work. Gravitational units of work. Work is said to have gravitational unit of work if unit gravitational force displaces the body through unit distance in direction of force. First, in CGS, gravitational unit of work is, as we know, work equals to force into displacement, and gravitational unit of force is gram weight, which is denoted by GWT, into CGS unit of displacement is centimeter, and as we know 1 gram weight equals to 981 dyne. So we can write here 1 gram weight equals to 981 dyne into centimeter. As we know dyne into centimeter equals to 1 erg. So we get 981 which is equal to 1 gram weight into centimeter. So this is the CGS gravitational unit of work, which is 1 gram weight centimeter equals to 981 earth. Now in SI, as we know, the SI gravitational unit of force is kilogram weight and SI unit of displacement is meter, and since we know 1 kilogram weight equals to 9.8 Newton, so we can write here into 9.8 Newton into meter, and as we know Newton into meter equals to 1 joule, so we get 9.8 joule. So we can write here 1 kilogram weight into meter equals to 9.8 joule, which is SI gravitational unit of. We can also define these units. First, CGS unit, which is 1 gram weight. It is defined as 1 gram weight centimeter of work is done when a force of 1 gram weight displaces a body through 1 centimeter in its own direction, and 1 kilogram weight into meter, which is SI gravitational unit of work. It is defined as 1 kilogram weight meter of work is done when a force of 1 kilogram weight displaces a body through 1 meter in its own direction. Now, next topic we have positive work done. When angle between applied force and displacement S is acute angle. Acute angle means theta is less than 90 degree. Then in this case, net work done will be positive. How? In this case, when we find the horizontal and vertical component of this force, we get the horizontal component of force in direction of displacement, which is F cos theta, and vertical component of this force is F sin theta. Since here horizontal component of force is in the direction of displacement, so work done by this component will be positive. On the other hand, since vertical component of force is in the direction perpendicular to the displacement, so in this case work done by this vertical component will be 0. So when we find the net work done will be, in this case, is positive. So we can say when angle between force and displacement is acute angle means theta is less than 90 degree. In this case, net work done will be positive. Second is negative work done. Negative work done, in this case, let displacement is in the direction as shown in figure and force is at the angle greater than 90 degree to this displacement. Here angle is obtuse. Obtuse means theta is greater than 90 degree. In this case, when we find component of this force along horizontal and vertical direction, then we get in horizontal direction component of force will be minus F cos theta, and in vertical direction, as we are looking here, the work done by this vertical component of force will be 0, since this vertical component is at the angle 90 degree to the displacement. So work done by this vertical component of force will be 0, and when we calculate the work done by this horizontal component, we get the net work done will be negative. So we can say when angle between force and displacement is obtuse angle, then we get net work done will be negative. Now next topic is work done by variable force. We have calculated work done by constant force. Let us now consider a force which acts always in one direction but whose magnitude may keep on varying. Consider the direction of force is along x-axis. Further, let us assume magnitude of force is also a function of x, or say fx. To calculate the total work done by variable force, let us draw a graph. Let force F is function of x is displacement, and this force is variable, so we get the graph something like this. To calculate the total work done by this force, let us divide this total path small elements like this. So in this case, these small elements behaves like a straight line. Let us consider the displacement of this point, say A, is x, and let the displacement of this point, let B, is from origin is x plus dx. So here we get a strip. Let these points corresponding to displacement axis C, and this point is D. In this case, the displacement between C and D will be dx. So when we calculate the work done in a small displacement from x to x plus dx, we get work done in a small displacement from x to x plus dx will be dw equals to f into dx, and this f into dx is equal to the area of a strip ABCD. Under fx curve. By the similar way, we can find the total work done by this variable force. When we add the work done by this small element, then we get the total work done by this variable force. So we can write here, let this initial point, the displacement of this initial point, let this is O, is x1, and let the displacement of this point, say P, is x2. So we can write here total work done in displacement from x1 to x2 can be calculated by finding the area between this fx curve and x-axis. So here we conclude that the total work done by a variable force will be the area between this fx curve and this x-axis. Okay, one example of variable force is here, which is a spring force. It is an example of variable force. An important example of variable force is a spring force that obeys Hooke's law. Suppose here a spring one end of this spring is connected to a fixed vertical support and the another end of this spring is connected to a block which can move on this horizontal plane. Let x equals to 0 denotes its mean position in which a spring is in its natural length. Now, when we displace this block by a distance small x, a restoring force is applied by a spring on the block. The direction of the force F is always towards the mean position, which is x equals to 0. So, the magnitude of this force, we can say the magnitude of variable force, or we can say restoring force, will be directly proportional to the x, which is displacement from its mean position. Here we can write it as F is directly proportional to the x, and we can write this equation as F equals to minus kx, where minus sign denote that F is in the direction opposite to the displacement of block, and here k is a spring constant. This depends on nature of a spring. Now, for calculating the work done by this spring force, let us draw a graph here. When we plot the graph between displacement and this force F, we get it like this, having negative slope. So, to calculate the net work done by this variable force, we can find the area between fx curve and between x-axis. The slope of this graph is negative, means minus k, and here negative sign shows that f is in the direction opposite to the displacement of block. So in this case, net work done by a spring force will be equals to area of fx curve and x-axis. This fx curve and x-axis. By finding this area, we can calculate the net work done by spring force, which is equal to the W equals to, as we know, this is a triangle and area of triangle is given by half into height, and height is equal to force, which is minus kx, into displacement, which is x. So by solving this, we get W equals to minus half kx square. So we get here the net work done by a spring force is minus half kx square, and this equation can also be written as W equals to minus half k x1 square minus x2 square. When any block is when spring is displaced from position x1 to x2, then in that case work done by spring force will be given by this equation. Now next topic is
तो ये मैं तो कहता हूँ कि आप ये से लाइन ऊपर यहाँ से लिखा था उसको ऊपर उठ जाओगे तो आप बोलोगे तो गंदा लगता है ना रिकॉर्डिंग में नीचे वाला यहाँ तक आकर इसके ऊपर उठ जाएगा, ठीक है?
पता कैसे लगेगा? पता अच्छा उसको देख के. Next topic is conservative and non-conservative forces. Conservative and non-conservative forces. When work done by forces does not depend on path, only initial and final coordinates are required, then forces are known as conservative forces. For example, gravitational force and Coulomb force is conservative force, while when work done by forces depend on path, then in that case forces are known as non-conservative forces. For example, frictional force and viscous force are non-conservative forces. Viscous force. These are conservative forces and these are non-conservative forces. For example, when any body is displaced from a point A, which coordinates are 2 meter, 3 meter and 4 meter. A body is displaced from point A to a point B having coordinates 1 meter, 2 meter and 3 meter. Under a constant force F equals to 2 IK plus 3 J cap plus 4 K cap Newton. And we want to find the work done by this constant force. In this case, how can I find? It is equal to the, as we know, work done equals to scalar product of force and displacement. Here, displacement will be 1 IK plus 2 JK plus 3 KK, which is the position coordinate of point P, minus 2 IK plus 3 JK plus 4 KK. So when we calculate this, we get minus IK minus J cap minus K cap. So we can put this value here. So we get W equals to force, put the value of force 2 IK plus 3 J cap plus 4 K cap dot, put the value of S minus I cap minus J cap minus K cap. By finding the dot product of these two vectors, we get minus 2 minus 3 minus 4, which is equal to the minus 9 joule. So in this case, while calculating the work done, we did not mention the path through which the object was displaced. Only initial and final coordinates were required. Thus, if particle or an object is displaced from position A to B through different paths under a conservative force field, then we can say work done by force in 3 paths will be equal. Let any object is displaced from point A to B by 3 different paths. First is let path A, path 1, second is path 2 and third is path 3. So in this case, the work done by conservative force in all the 3 paths will be equal. So we can write here W1 equals to W2 equals to W3. Or we can also say here work done in a closed path is 0 under the conservative force field. So we can write here WAB equals to minus WBA, or this equation can also be written as WAB plus WBA equals to 0. So we can say in conservative forces, the work done in a closed path is 0. Now, next topic is energy. Work is always done at the expense of energy. Man, animal or machines require energy to do work. Energy is spent when a force does the work on an object. So we can say energy can be defined as capacity to do work. Energy can be defined as the capacity to do work. The SI unit of energy is joule and CGS unit of energy is erg. Commercial unit of energy, a subtopic is here, commercial unit. Of energy. The unit joule is too small and hence is inconvenient to express large quantities of energy. The most convenient unit to measure large quantities of energy like electric charge is kilowatt hour, which is commercial unit of energy. The energy used in households, industries and commercial establishments are usually expressed in kilowatt hour. For example, electric energy used during a month is expressed in terms of units. Here, 1 unit means 1 kilowatt hour. And 1 kilowatt hour equals to 3.6 into 10 to power 6 joule. We can find this value so we get these two units, the relation between these two units. 1 unit equals to 1 kilowatt hour and 1 kilowatt hour is 3.6 into 10 to power 6 joule. Now, mechanical energy. Mechanical energy is the energy associated with the motion of a body, means kinetic energy, or the energy stored in the body, means potential energy. Thus, we can define mechanical energy as the energy associated with the body due to its position, configuration or motion. The total mechanical energy is the sum of potential energy. Mechanical energy is the sum of potential energy and kinetic energy. Now, potential energy. The energy stored in a body by virtue of its position and configuration is called potential energy. Now, the position dependent potential energy. Consider a brick lying on the ground near a building. As such, this brick seems to have no energy. If we can carry this brick to the top of building, we do some amount of work against the gravitational force. In other words, we spend some amount of energy. This energy spent by us is stored in the brick, is in the form of potential energy. It must be kept in mind that potential energy is latent in nature. That is, it does not show by itself unless released. For example, the brick on the top of the roof does not seem to have energy. However, if we drop the brick from the roof, its potential energy is released and hence work is done. Similarly, water stored in water tanks and in dams, the water carried by the clouds in the form of teeny droplets, an aeroplane or a helicopter in the sky possesses the potential energy due to their position above the earth's surface. When we can also write here mathematical representation for gravitational potential energy. Mathematical representation of gravitational potential energy. Consider a body of mass m being raised vertically upward through a height h against the force due to gravity. Let any mass m which is placed on horizontal surface is raised above at a height h from the horizontal, then we have to find here the work done by force of gravity. We know force applied on the body for lifting is mg, which is equal to weight. The total work done in lifting the body will be force into displacement. Here force is mg, displacement is h, so we get W equals to mgh, and it is equal to energy spent in lifting the body. Here a negative sign is occurred since the direction of force of gravity and displacement is r in the opposite direction. So here we get also a negative sign. So we can say here a negative sign is occurred because F and S are in the opposite direction. So the potential energy will be negative of the work done by force of gravity, which is equal to the mgh. So we get gravitational potential energy is equal to the potential mgh. Now next is configuration dependent potential energy. When a spring is stressed or compressed, work is done against the elastic forces binding the atom. The energy stored in a stressed or compressed spring is called elastic potential energy. Other examples of potential energy possessed on account of the configuration are a stressed rubber band, a wound spring of watch, or a toy car. So we can calculate here elastic potential energy. When any spring is stressed or compressed by some amount acts from its unstressed position, then we can write potential energy U is minus of work done, and we know as work done is minus half kx square as we have calculated before. So we get elastic potential energy is half kx square. Now here some important points regarding potential energy are: first is potential energy can be defined only for conservative forces. For non-conservative forces it has no meaning. And second is potential energy depends on frame of reference. Now thanks. In next lecture we will discuss about kinetic energy, work energy theorem, some numericals. Okay.